and gentlemen, let's get real busy here. We're going to review a lesson and some information that you should have learned in 6th grade, measures of central tendency. It does come from the 6th grade Green Book, lessons 9.2 and 9.3 in that Green Book for 6th grade, where we are going to find the mean, the median, and the mode. That might ring a bell for you. The mean, the median, and the mode for a set of data. Our essential question when we're done, in what ways can you describe the center of a set of data? So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to take down some information, and what I suggest is you just listen to me first, and then when we get through, stop, pause the video, and then copy it down as quickly as possible. So, measures of central tendency. Measures of central tendency are numbers that can describe the whole set of data based on the center. And that's why it says central. Central means the center. So, measures of central tendency means measures that describe the whole data set, whole set of data based on the center. All right? The first one we're going to talk about is the mean. We like to call the mean the average. All right? And that is the sum of all the data divided by the number of items in the data set. That's very important. So you add up all the items and then you divide by the number of items to get the average, or what we call the mean. And the mean is most often used. In other words, it represents the data best when the data has no extreme values. In other words, nothing that's really high or nothing that's really low compared to the data set. If you need to, pause the video so you can write this down. If not, let's move forward. The median is our next measure of central tendency. Median is like the middle, like the median in the middle of the road that prevents you from crossing from one side of the street to the other. You got to go around it. That is called the median. And the median is the middle number of the data. And that data must be ordered from least to greatest. Very important. You got to number the data set in order from least to greatest. Also, it could be the mean of the middle two numbers. So if we have an odd set of data, there's going to be an odd number of items in the data set. We will be given exactly what the median is. It will be the middle number for that odd set. If we have an even number of items in the data set, then we have to take the middle two numbers, add them together, and divide by 2. And the median is most often used when the data does have those extreme values, something that's really high or really low, and when there are no big gaps in the middle of the data. We don't want those big gaps in the middle of the data. All right? And the last one is going to be the mode. The mode, which we call the most. The mode is the number or numbers that occur most often in the data set. And the mode is most representative of the data when the data has many identical numbers. Once again, pause if you need to make sure you have all this written down. If not, we're going to go right into our examples. So the first example, where we're going to find the measures of central tendency, and we are going to then decide which one of those measures represents the data the best. And so the first thing we're going to do is the mean, and we already wrote down that to do the mean, we have to add up all the items. So let's just get right and dirty with it. 18 plus 14 plus 15 plus 11 plus 14 plus 12 plus 17. When we add all that up, we get 101. And then we're going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that gives us 14.42. And there's more numbers. So here's a good point to tell you. We always want to round to the nearest tenth unless we're told otherwise. So since the 2 doesn't have any effect at all on the 14, our final answer for the mean is 14.2 as our final answer for the mean. Oh, I'm sorry, 14.4. Hello, 14.4. I almost messed that up because the 2 doesn't have an effect. So 14.4 for the mean. Let's go to the median. The median being the middle number when they're ordered from least to greatest, so we have to greatest, so we have to put them in order. 11, 12, 14, 14, 15, 17, and 18. And when we know we have 7 items of data in here, so we just have to go to the middle number. So we go 1, 2, 3. There's 3 on that side, 1, 2, 3 on that side. And so right in the middle, the median is 14. I always like to draw my line. I put an M. You'll realize that when we get to measures of central tendency. The median is in the middle, so the median is 14. Finding the mode, there is one number that is listed more than once, and that is 14. So the mode is 14. And as we look at the last question, which measure best represents the set of data? Well, we have 14.4. and then we have 14 and 14. And as I look, 14 to 18 to get to the highest number is a difference of 4. And going from 14 to 11, well, that's a difference of 3. That's pretty dang darn close. So we're probably not going to use I'm thinking that the mean is the most representative of the data, only because both the median and the mode are 14, and both of them are a little bit closer to the lower end than they are the higher end, and the mean is closer to the middle of that. So I'm going to go with the mean as being the most representative. Oh, by the way, pause and write down anything you have to, and then continue with the rest of it with us, and here we go. Our next one says, for 10 days, the number of bikes that are parked in the bike rack at school are 10, 12, 8, 11, 13, 9, 2, 1, 9, and 12. So once again, you're going to add all those numbers up. Whoops, I got to get out my purple. 10 plus 12 plus 8 plus 11 plus 13 plus 9 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 12. When I add all that up, I get 85. And I already know that there's 10 items of data. I don't have to count it. It told me those were over 10 days. So 8.5 is my mean. The mean is 8.5. And to find the median, I of course have to put the data set in order from least to greatest. So 1, 2, and then we go 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13. Well, I know there's an even set of items in the data set, so I have to go to the very center. And when I do that, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, draw my line because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other side. Here's where my median, I got to find what that number is. Since there's 2 in the middle, I've got to add them together. 9 plus 10, that's 19 divided by 2, 9.5. So my median is 9.5. All right? And then I go to my mode, and I have 2 9s, and I have 2 12s. So now I have more than one mode, so I have 9 and 12 as my modes. And now I have to look at those items, 8.5 for the mean, 9.5 for the median, and 9 and 12 for the modes. Which measure best represents this set of data? Well, we know that the mean doesn't work when there's extremes, and we have those extremes of 1 and 2. They are way far away, because even the range of data from 8 to 13 is only 5, and 1 and 2 are 6 and 7 units away from 8. So the mean doesn't work at all. The median, 9.5, well, that's real close to the bottom end of our data set, really, of 8 without those extremes. And so the median does work when there's extremes. So that might be representative, but I'm going to go to the mode because there's a couple modes. I'm going to go with the mode. I'm going to go with the modes to say that they are the most representative of this set of data. Okay? Moving right along. Pause and go back if you have to get that copied down. And let's do the last one. I'm just trying to save a little bit of time with the video, but you always pause the video and it lasts as long as you need it to for you to get everything down and understand it, listening to it as many times as you need. So here we have a bar graph representing some text messages. So we see that there's text messages, and it says the number of texts sent over the months of June, July, August, September, October, and November. Just to let you know that you can find measures of central tendency from any type of data set that's represented either in a bar graph, a line plot, stem and leaf plot, just a table of data, or just a set of data, all different ways where you can find measures of central tendency. So remember that when you're doing your assignment. This particular way comes from a bar graph. So the first thing to find the mean, we have to add them up. 108 plus 99 plus 126 plus 324 plus 287 plus 274. I add all that up together and I get 1,218. And I count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Divide that by 6 and I get 203. So my mean is 203. That's my mean. When I go to my median, I got to put them in order. So 99, 108, 126, 274, 287, and 324. And so now I'm going to go right to the middle of that. I know there's an even number, so I count 1, 2, 3. Bam, right there's my median. And so I have to add these two numbers together. 126 plus 274 equals 400 divided by 2. That's 200. So my median is 200. All right. My median is 200. My mode. Well, there is no item in the data set that is listed more than once, so there is no mode in this set of data. So that's helpful. So now I need to find the item that's most representative. And that would be, well, the mean. There is no extremes. However, there is a huge gap. Between 126 and 274, there is a massively large, what color do I want to use for that? There is a massively large gap in here between 126 and 274. So we don't want to use the median. So we're going to use the mean. And this one, there is no mode, so we can't use that. So we're going to use the mean. We're going to use the mean on this one. So going to our first quick write, ladies and gentlemen, find the mean, the median, mode for the set of data. You have a handout in which you can write it on and glue that entire handout in for your quick write. And then when you answer all those questions, we will discuss it tomorrow in class. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.